It's May 13th, 2012, Manchester, England. We're deep into stoppage time of a match between Manchester City and the visiting Queen's Park Rangers. The English Premier League title depends on this moment. Before it happens, we need to understand why. What happened to make this game so important? What these people are thinking? What these people are thinking? And how the hell City gave up 2 goals to QPR? Let's rewind. Before we look on the pitch, let's take a look around the crowd to see how folks at Etihad Stadium are feeling. A little nervous. See, if City wins this match, they win the whole Premier League. That's an honor typically reserved for their local rival and historic bully, Manchester United. Both clubs have over a century of history, and United's done a lot more winning throughout that history. They've usually had the upper hand in the head-to-head matchups known as the Manchester Derby, and they've spent much more time on top. Manchester United has 19 league titles, including 4 of the 5 preceding this one. Manchester City has 2 league titles, all time. Their last one came in 1968, decades before the Premier League was formed. As recently as the late 90s and early 2000s, when United was busy winning multiple league titles, City was relegated to the lower tiers of English football. That was a flare-up of what fans call typical City, or Cityitis, a pathology dating back to at least 1938, when City became the rare team who, 1 year after winning the league title, got relegated out of it. City scored a league-leading 104 goals in the 1958 season and conceded 100. In 1996, City dribbled out the clock to draw a game they didn't realize they desperately needed to win to avoid relegation. So it was a big deal for City fans when, in 2008, extremely rich ownership took over and started spending record-setting amounts of money on talent, when they hired trophy-winning Italian coach Roberto Mancini as manager, and when City soon began to climb up Premier League tables. But nothing would be bigger, nothing a greater relief from Cityitis than winning a title. This torment you see is that of fans who know winning it all depends on what happens right here, but also on the outcome of another match 100 miles away involving the only other team in contention, which is, you guessed it, Manchester United. The 2 neighboring clubs have handed first place back and forth throughout this 2011-2012 season. United had the clear upper hand entering April, but fell within striking distance thanks to a loss at Wigan and a terrible blown lead that resulted in a draw with Everton. City only edged back ahead recently thanks to this man, Vincent Kompany. City and United met for a crucial Manchester derby on April 30th, the 3rd to last week of the season. Sitting in first place, United manager Alex Ferguson sent out a conservative, defensive team, essentially playing for a draw. Each team would get a point in the standings, and United would remain on top. But Kompany, City's brilliant defender and team captain, headed in a corner to give City the match's only goal. The victory tied the teams atop the table, with City holding a tiebreaker because of goal differential. And such were the circumstances heading into today's fixtures, which all kicked off at exactly the same time. City at home in Manchester facing QPR, United away at Sunderland. Holding the tiebreaker means all City has to do to stay in first and win it all is match United's result. If United lose, then City win the Premier League. If United draw, then City have to draw themselves. If United win, then City's got to win too. People involved in each match are keeping a close eye on the other one. And 20 minutes into the afternoon's games, the folks in Manchester got word that up in Sunderland, Wayne Rooney had scored for United. Meanwhile, City and QPR were still at 0-0, so at that moment, United were on pace to win the Premier League. But about 20 minutes later, here in Manchester, City defender Pablo Zabaleta scored his first goal of the season on a funky bounce off the keeper's hand.
It's in! It's in!
So at halftime, City was on pace for a win and back atop the table. No matter what happened with United, all City had to do to win the trophy was hold that lead. Clearly, they did not do that. Here it's important to understand what these guys are thinking. Queen's Park Rangers sit near the bottom of the table, but this match matters a lot to them too. QPR entered the day in 4th to last place, 2 points ahead of Bolton. After today's season-ending matches, the bottom 3 clubs will be relegated to the League Championship, England's 2nd tier. If Bolton beats Stoke City today, they'll earn 3 points and quite possibly leapfrog QPR in the standings, depending on a result in Manchester. And Bolton scored twice to enter halftime up 2-1. So while City came out for the second half hoping to maintain their clean sheet and win the Premier League, QPR suddenly needed goals to make sure that they could stay in the Premier League. QPR had less to gain, but much more to lose, so they were hungry. If City made a mistake, they would devour it. And this whoopsie of a header by Jolyon Lescott was a big mistake. United were still up 1-0, and City were tied, so United were once again on pace to be Premier League champions. And this didn't f***ing help. No one marked QPR's Jamie Mackie, and he buried a header to put the underdog up 2-1. City haven't lost in Manchester all season, and yet they trailed in the second half against the worst away side in the league while their rivals held a 1-0 lead elsewhere. Not ideal, but clearly 2-1 didn't hold either. At this point, we should take a look at who's participating in this moment for City. This right here is Edin Dzeko. Down 1-2, a livid Roberto Mancini subbed in Dzeko as an extra striker. City desperately needed goals, plural, and Dzeko's good at those. The opportunities were there, but just slipped away. At the end of 90 minutes, another opportunity dissolved in brutal fashion, and City still trailed. Remember, with United rolling toward victory, even a 2-2 draw won't be enough for City. But you need 2 goals before you can get 3, and after the referees applied an unusually high 5 minutes of stoppage time, Dzeko finally connected, freeing himself with a clever feint to head in a corner. So that's one scoring option here for the third goal City desperately needs. But I want to talk about why there's so much stoppage time. It involves this man, Sergio Aguero, who you'll notice is surrounded by only 10 QPR players. Referees add stoppage time at the end of regulation to compensate for injuries and arguments, any non-soccer thing that ate into the first 90 minutes. And in the 55th minute, we had a big non-soccer thing. Joey Barton, a former Manchester City player known for his short temper, got red carded for this elbow to Carlos Tevez's face. And on his way off the pitch, Barton tried to provoke a fight and get his City player sent off with him. He suddenly attacked Aguero, like for real assaulted him. So QPR got their second goal playing down a man, while until Dzeko's goal in extra time, City simply could not capitalize on opportunities to score. Although it's kind of hard to blame Aguero for missing a chance like this one when we just saw him get the shit kicked out of his legs. This is all to say that while Aguero is rushing in as a potential scoring option, he is maybe not at 100%. Meanwhile, the man with the ball is Mario Balotelli. Balotelli is known for his sometimes outlandish behavior, and he's known for his divine scoring ability. That's why Mancini subbed him into the game. When you need goals, you turn to a guy like Balotelli. Although, as he loses his balance, it's not looking like he's going to be able to shoot the ball he just touched. Neither is Dzeko, who's out of Balotelli's range on the left side, nor Derby hero Vincent Kompany, who's dummying out of the way, hoping to pull a defender with him. The ball probably won't make it to David Silva open on the right wing. If anyone's going to get there, it'll have to be Sergio Aguero, the man who recently got his legs smashed. And Aguero's going to have to make something happen right here, because those 5 minutes are almost gone, and because moments ago, up in Sunderland, United wrapped up their 1-0 victory. They're already celebrating, at least tentatively. And QPR fans are celebrating too because they heard Bolton ended up with a draw, meaning their team is safe from relegation. But City fans, sheer terror. Waves of nervous rage. These are backers of a club that's hurt them for the better part of a century. A club that finally had the upper hand on its lifelong rival, but so miserably squandered the chance for a simple, painless victory. And now stands one more blown opportunity away from a devastating bout of Cityitis. Okay, here we are. Welcome to a moment in history.
Balotelli, Aguero! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again!
Wait, sorry. Turn it back on real quick, because Manchester United and their fans followed the end of this game just like we did. Welcome to another simultaneous moment in history.
And the news is coming through that Manchester United have lost it. Manchester City have snatched it from them.
Thank you for watching Rewinder. The topic for this episode came from the comment section on like a lot of videos, so thank you for recommending it. I hope I did it justice, and definitely keep recommending topics because I look at that stuff.